Okay, now the analysis. My brand is working. Several of my friends have actually come up to me and just, mentioned, the name Robo Farming to me in person, just out of the blue in the past couple of weeks, and I think it's, people are catching on. They said my posts were funny and the word was getting out, so that was really encouraging. My two most effective platforms were by far Facebook and Pinterest. Like a semester high, 51 total reaches as of right now, and the most recent question of the week posed this morning to my following. Whereas my Pinterest, the following is kept growing. Now it's up to 8. My boards can continue to be, will be my boards. Sorry, will continue to be expanded, and I hope my following continues to grow. My two last successful platforms were Twitter and blogging. Hashtag use was, the trouble area of Twitter, and it was hard to grow a following, even though I tried a lot of different things, a lot of different methods, and not a whole lot worked. And the blogging, not many Google searches. Farmers are going to stick to what they know best, and they're not as into blogging as they are into Facebook, clearly. And then my KPIs recap, generating comments, shares, and likes. The sheer number of quantifiable metrics was, I think, outstanding in both Facebook and Pinterest, and really went over and above what I thought was possible in this project. Some surprising trends I thought. There was, much to talk about milk prices, not as much as about immigrant workers. I only got about 23 views on the questions I posed, and not the questions I posed, but the post I would send out on Facebook, which was relatively low, and my blog post was only 19, which is the lowest of the semester. So I was a little intrigued by that. Maybe I don't know why that was the way it was, but it was definitely surprising. Robotic farming devices are also very limited. They have a very limited voice on social media. Not a lot of talk about, the new dairy farming, robotic farming, and dairy farming. There's not a lot of talk about vertical farming. Maybe there's still in cities, but not a whole lot in urban areas. And I tried to drive traffic, but I did not see a ton of good success. I only got about 25 on average on Facebook, so a little interesting. Definitely, there was more emphasis on tweeting at specific users. I was less so on tweeting for the sake of tweeting, and I started just tweeting at followers, and whereas I would in the beginning just use a lot of hashtags and tweet out some cool facts or promote some stuff, which wasn't working, so I adjusted just tweeting to different people. So not as many farmers out there asking questions to one another on social media. I tried to look and see if there was anything out there, but there really was only a few, and those were just, you could tell they were Midwest farming buddies and had known each other for years. So, again, it shows the great potential in social media for this community, and like I said, much to my surprise, there's a clear interest out there to the American farmer. So, I know this by my Facebook and Pinterest results, and definitely was encouraged to know that people out there care about farming and are interested in what is going to happen in the next coming years with the farming future and where it's going. So again, I was pleased with my community choice, my social media account name, Robo Farming, the work that I was putting in the campaign, and the results were definitely encouraging. There were a lot of key influencers. There are key influencers out there, with AgChat being the biggest I found, but nothing that really brought them all together, and they wouldn't really, nothing really out there, especially on Facebook, that brought farmers together in creating an account that they could ask questions to one another, talk about something. So that was what I concluded from my time throughout the campaign. They are everywhere on Facebook. I see them posting pictures all the time, and some have crept into Pinterest. Empowering the public was huge in terms of generating conversation discussions around key subject groups. My question of the week was huge, simply put, and it just goes to show how empowering the users to comment and to give them power to talk about something that they want to talk about really helps drive the discussion. I touched on just a few of the key issues in farming for just for 1 week at a time, and if this was a long-term campaign, I would have done the content calendar over a few months instead of just one per week, and I would have gotten a lot of interesting results, and I would have saw maybe a little more talk about milk prices, but maybe less, and then we'll see if my theory about immigrant workers, with that being not talked about topic, and just testing theories and stuff like that was hard to do in 1 week, whereas in 3 months you could have done a lot of different things. And asking questions, having one clear voice throughout all four social media platforms was one of the biggest takeaways. As far as and as well as my viewership of my posts continued to rise throughout this semester. Just one clear voice throughout all four platforms, working together in one entity, was one of the big key points in the discussions on the weekly modules that we saw, and it really translated into the work that we did. So my pitch I would make to a future investor would be, farmers are really an untapped resource in the world of social media that no one has really seemed to utilize through the years. The ag chats on Twitter is the one proponent that I was successful. Despite the lack of technological growth, the farming industry is not going away. It's not. We need food. We need dairy. We need all the things that farmers do, and someone has to do it. So it's not going away. Even though the age is growing and farmers may be going out of business, there's a potential in these children, and empowering the youth is going to be huge going forward. Getting their attention, and like I said, trying to have them do social media for farms themselves would be nice, and to utilize their skills against the skills of their parents who are in farming for years, and making one good entity and one good component. Even though the price of milk may rise to $8 per gallon in 2014, that doesn't mean the entire dairy farming community will go bankrupt. There might be, even a few might make $1, because I've been hearing a lot of people saying that they would buy milk at $8 a gallon. So maybe farmers will see some money out of that. It'd be nice, and no one has taken interest in farming and social media, and I've proven that there is potential for growth, and it's going to be something I'm going to do moving forward, especially on Pinterest and Facebook. I'll keep this up and keep my followers invested, and hopefully keep this going. And one of the cool things that came up throughout the semester too was interest in my Facebook robo farming page has gained the attention of one of my followers' moms. She sent me a message on this account and said my work is perhaps eligible for this Mass Challenge Startup Accelerator. It's a 6 to 9 month. It's like a gathering of potential entrepreneurs in Boston, and they meet with investors, develop concepts, and they have speakers come and talk with them about what's worked for them. And at the end of this, they make a pitch. At the end of the 6 months, they make a pitch of what they hope to do, and the top 10 get a large cash reward, and they get to execute their plans in the field. So who knows where this might go? It might prove to be something that will explode in the next couple of years, but 3 things it proves is that support's growing, the potential is there, and that it's time to invest in robo farming. So again, thank you for your time here. It's been one whirlwind of a semester, a lot of work, but I saw a lot of cool results. I proved that farmers are out there, and people will talk about farming on social media. So I hope that I thank everybody for your attention and time. Sorry it was 3 parts, but good luck in everybody's finals, and again, I appreciate the time and attention this semester, and wish you all the luck in the future. Thanks.